Flight attendant threw Coca-Cola on a black woman. Her millionaire husband walks in and fires her. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far the story reaches. If you liked the video, please subscribe. She was trying to find her seat. A black woman, poised and quiet, traveling alone in first class. But to one flight attendant, that didn't look right. Without warning, without words, a cold Coca-Cola was poured right into her lap. Passengers gasped. The woman sat frozen, stunned, humiliated. No one came to help. No one spoke up. But what? That flight attendant didn't know. This woman wasn't just any traveler, and in just a few minutes, the person who could destroy her entire career would step onto that plane. What happens next will leave you speechless. Watch until the end. Imani Walters had built her life with quiet strength, a calm presence with a gentle voice. She was the kind of woman who never needed to shout to be heard. Married to Julian Walters, a self-made tech millionaire, she preferred privacy over spotlight. Today, she was flying alone, returning from a charity event she helped organize in Atlanta. Boarding early as a first-class passenger, she wore simple clothes, no flashy jewelry, and no loud announcements of her status. She was just another passenger, but to some, appearances still meant everything. As Imani moved toward her seat, she noticed the narrowed eyes of a flight attendant. Dismissive, suspicious, not welcoming. But she kept her head down, respectful as always. What she didn't expect, what no one could have imagined, was how quickly that quiet start would spiral into a national headline, and how her husband's unexpected entrance would flip the entire flight crew's world upside down. As the plane filled, Imani quietly settled into her seat. The flight attendant, a woman in her mid-40s named Cheryl, approached Imani with an icy expression. She didn't greet her. I didn't ask if she needed anything. Instead, she hovered, arms crossed, glaring. Moments later, Cheryl returned, holding a can of Coca-Cola. Without a word, she popped it open and, in a single motion, tilted it over Imani's lap. The ice-cold soda soaked her white blouse and linen pants. Gasps erupted from nearby passengers. Imani froze in shock. "Excuse me, what are you doing?" a man across the aisle blurted, but Cheryl shrugged. "She doesn't belong in this seat," she mumbled, loud enough for some to hear. The humiliation stung more than the soda. No one offered help. No apology. A few pulled out phones, recording quietly. Flight staff rushed over, not to help Imani, but to shield Cheryl and calm the growing tension. One whispered to Imani, suggesting she move to avoid further trouble. But Imani didn't move. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. Instead, she pulled out her phone, sent a single message, and waited. 5 minutes later, Julian Walters, her husband, boarded. He was scheduled on a later flight, but switched at the last minute to surprise her. As he approached her seat and saw her soaked and shaking, he stopped cold. Then everything changed. Julian didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. The pilot, recognizing him instantly, tried to intervene, but Julian stepped past him and addressed the head attendant calmly. "This woman is my wife, and this crew just assaulted her." A few executives in aviation knew Julian not just as a millionaire, but also as part owner of a venture capital-backed airline tech firm that supplied half of the carriers and flight systems. With one call, he spoke to the airline CEO. Cheryl was escorted off the plane within minutes. No discussion, no defense. Julian sat beside Imani, gently took her hand, and whispered, "They will never do this to you again." Cameras captured everything. The flight was delayed, but by then, millions online were already watching, and justice had just begun. By the time they landed, the footage had gone viral. News outlets picked up the story. The airline issued a public apology, but Julian declined it, demanding full staff retraining, policy change, and accountability. Cheryl was terminated immediately, but the conversation didn't stop there. Imani, once a private woman, became a voice for countless others facing silent discrimination. She launched an organization for the rights of Black travelers, advocating for dignity in public spaces. What happened on that plane wasn't just about soda, it was about power, respect, and finally being seen. How many more women like Imani suffer in silence, dismissed, or degraded. Maybe next time, someone will speak up before it's too late. Comment below. What country and city are you watching this from? Have you ever witnessed something like this?